Hello everyone and welcome back to Friday Night StarCraft. I am the Dragooner and today decided I'd skip a bit later on in the tournament. I didn't go all the way to the finals. I suspect all of you have watched other people casting the finals at this stage. But instead I went for the round of 12 and basically, this tournament, I managed to keep myself... Did not manage to avoid seeing who the winner was. We all know who the winner was. But... Sorry, I haven't introduced these players, have I? Top left, we've got Olivera. And in the bottom left, we've got everyone's great foreign hope if they don't cheer for Cyril. It is HeroMarine. Yes, like I was saying, I did not manage to avoid the results of this tournament. Let me just double check that. I know, never mind. I apologize. Sound is working just fine for all of you. Yes, like I was saying, I have not managed to avoid the winner of this tournament, but I've not seen a lot. Beyond the winner, I don't really know much about this tournament. So, thought I'd bring this game from the round of 12. We've got Olivera in the top right. If you've managed to avoid the spoilers so far, I won't give them to you. Bottom left, we've got HeroMarine. He, from what I saw, seemed to have a bit of hype around him coming into the tournament. He'd been playing very well beforehand. I'm not sure if that was just everybody praying for a foreigner to do well or what, but regardless, got both players going for factory first. That's not something you see every day. And I'm pretty sure both of those Reapers popped out to the second. Now, are they going to fight in the middle of the map? I suspect not. Why don't you... No? Why my follow hotkey's not working? Regardless. Why isn't my follow hotkey working? I will need to look into that. I apologize if things are a bit jerky. Regardless, both players just using the Reapers to scout around, make sure that they're not being proxied. And single Hellion follow-up. Oh, some difference in the builds. Olivera decided to go for a quick tech lab. And HeroMarine got continuing to pump Reapers. Olivera gonna go for the Cyclone. Fairly versatile. Cyclone I always find an interesting unit. Very versatile, but not particularly amazing at the same time. It's interesting how that's ended up designed. Yep, that Reaper's gonna have a bad day. Does manage to get it out, but it's telling Olivera he needs to get some stuff out. And mind you, this Banshee that I assume he's about to build. Olivera, you meant to build it when I say that, so I don't look like an idiot. It's gonna be a Raven, isn't it? Yep. Look, what I saw on the other side of the field felt like it wouldn't be very good against a Banshee showing up in his mineral line, but I suppose the Raven's too good a unit. Okay, I could... Oh god. I have no idea why that's not working. Regardless, sees two Cyclones. One Hellion goes down immediately. Don't think you can really push into two Cyclones with that. There's just not very much damage there. Meanwhile, Olivera's Raven has completed. Pretty much every ability is good in PvT. The anti-arm missile is probably the least likely one to see. And I would argue just that on the basis of you wanted to be disabling tanks. And turrets are just always a bad time for your opponent if they appear in the mineral line. More Ravens coming. Still not a lot of production here from either player, but okay, he's decided he's happy with the number of Ravens he's got, and he's now going to start pumping Vikings. Gets his stim pack is now on the way. Aliens continue to bash their face against the wall. So, nothing new really. And no third coming out yet for either player, as they are far too busy just expanding to every corner of the tech tree. And it is only 5 minutes in. Both players just... Oh, never mind. Command Center is on the way now for HeroMarine. But still just the one production facility for both players. HeroMarine putting a little bit of pressure across the map now. Wow, how did I manage to say neither player expanded yet within 5 seconds of them having command centers? Either way. Now begins the Raven Viking dance. Tanks trying to get into a decent position. Ooh, disruption goes down on HeroMarine's tanks. Ravens don't manage to get in. And yes, if I'm not mistaken, Olivera has distinctly taken the advantage from this one. Between Ravens, Vikings, and tanks, the Marine running into kill steal. That one will get cleaned up. However, HeroMarine did get the expansion behind it. Doesn't quite have the workers on it that Olivera does. They've basically gone for very similar builds, but Olivera I think has just done it a little bit better. Managed to get a little bit more out of it. But is now making the aggressive push now. Although he has Ravens. I believe there's one disruption on one of them. Vikings. That's a Viking flock that's a bit problematic. Siege tank will siege up in the high ground here. And now I think he's got the Raven numbers. Gets the disruption down on a tank. Meaning that, yeah, it looks big. The power of focus fire will, and reinforcements will result in Olivera winning the air war there. Ground war, he's very much winning at the moment, with 4 tanks to 2, I believe currently. Yeah, 4 tanks to 2. He's a bit down on Marines, but if you've learned anything from TVT, it's that Marines really love to die. Manages to sneak the air control back here, but reinforcing Vikings are coming in. And yep, that'll bring things back in favor of Olivera. Oh, lands of Vikings, not sure that was a good idea. Right in front of those Marines, and tank manages to get repaired. And that's 3 Vikings given away for absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Olivera's going to retreat into the middle of the map. He's got a tank set up here. He's got a couple of Vikings. As the positional battle will continue. And deciding that right now he'd rather just back off back to base. Where he's really starting to pump out the Marines now. He's got stim, he's got combat shields. He's just going to build more Marines. Sending all of his gas into tanks and medevacs. On the other side, much the same. Much the same. Both players deciding that tanks and Marines are the order of the day. HeroMarine just had a look, saw the numbers, saw the base count, and obviously has decided that he has had enough. And we'll move onwards to game 2. Game 2 is underway now, as I've discovered the miracles of making sure things don't get stuck underneath your keyboard, and now I can press the control key again. Anyway, yeah, bit of a anticlimactic end there from HeroMarine. Just he threw down a couple of scans, and obviously he didn't like what he saw. He really was just a little bit behind pretty much that whole game, and they were going for, like, there are mirror matches, and then there's that match where they basically just tried to do the exact same thing, and, well, Olivera just had a little bit more and did a little bit better. However, this time we are also seeing another repeat of the exact same builds. Cool. Let's have a look. And that hits 700. Okay, HeroMarine's barracks is a few seconds behind. I think because his SCV had to walk further, and that's going to give Olivera an overwhelming... Yeah, I really hope not. We'll have to see exactly how that pans out. Both players getting as much gas as possible, as quickly as possible. With Olivera deciding he wants to finish his... Olivera deciding he does not want his wall to be completely hard. HeroMarine placing a depot down to scout for the Reaper coming in. I'm always amused when I see pro players do things like this, and it's just like, I don't think I would do this, right? Regardless, HeroMarine went across the map, saw the hard, or at least attempted hard wall, and he knew exactly what that meant. Oh, he did see the factory started as well, so he really knew what that went. He'll probably actually know the timing of that command center. And who would have thought it's exactly the same as his own? Let's have a look. So this game, Olivera is the one who's building extra Reapers. Never mind. HeroMarine just decided to build his extra Reapers from a reactor rather than one at a time. Which is an increase in efficiency, excuse me. Which he is going to use to move across the middle of the map. Don't believe he's been spotted. And that Hellion is moving in, just a little bit late to do very much, and this is going to be interesting. So, Hellion gets in, starts roasting SCVs. He's going to know that, yep, he's got Hellions and Reapers outside the front of his base. He has managed to fix his wall off. That will help him. Meanwhile, HeroMarine's SCVs are being torn apart. The reactor will help, and... Okay, so it's gonna be a bit difficult for them to actually deal with that. 4 SCVs are lost for HeroMarine versus the 3 of Olivera. Gives us almost identical unit counts. Oh, never mind. Still Reaper running around in the base. These 2 Marines might eventually deal with. Yep, and okay. That's a bit more significant. Now there's a 4-worker lead for Olivera. He's got his tank in the position. He's got his... putting down the 3rd command center. Whereas HeroMarine is busy getting units out. Trying to rebuild that SCV count. Because whereas before he was Yes, yeah, worker, half a worker behind. Not a big deal. Now he's several SCVs down. Still not the end of the world. Back okay, both players have the Raven out. And yes, life does continue onwards. If you would believe it or not. Both players just focusing on their macro, leaving me absolutely nothing to talk about, which is extremely rude of them. Apologies. I think I managed to mute that. So, yes, macro. Yeah, I'd love to know how cyclones actually move sideways when they're doing that spin. Just the mechanics of those wheels really don't look like they rotate very well. The things we have to talk about. Well, regardless, little bit of scouting going on. Just Olivera sending out a few Marines. HeroMarine sending out his Ellie and his Reapers, having a bit of a scout around, trying to work out what is happening. Got some Vikings. Yeah, both players really leaving me nothing to talk about right now. This is clearly where I need a co-commentator to, you know, feed me interesting things to talk about. Because I don't think very many of my audience are going to be interested if I start talking about the intricacies, God, get my words right, of the status of the Australia-India test match going on at the moment. Which is a shame, really, because I do enjoy talking cricket. Regardless, Olivera actually doing something right now. He's pushing in. Oh, finds these two tanks. Gets a couple of... that's going to be a few free tanks. The Viking fight, I think is going to go Olivera's way at the moment. The tank fight absolutely is. The ground fight has gone distinctly in the advantage of Olivera. While throwing down auto turrets to help the Vikings, I'm not sure that long term is a good idea. Does have a couple of new Vikings coming in. Trades 1 for 1, but if you've got the lead, you can trade 1 for 1 very effectively for some time. So HeroMarine has managed to keep both his Ravens alive. Olivera only has 1. He's pulling back now, despite having about a 3 tank lead. Looking for a different angle from by the looks of things. Hellions and Reapers might as well just go for a backstab. I don't think that can actually help at all in the main fight. In time, another disruption on a tank. Allows Olivera to set up. Does have a couple of tanks disrupted. Marines are going to run forward and help with the Vikings. Does manage to maintain control of the air. There is 1 Marine left that will just die. And... is he close enough to shell the base? I don't believe so, and he can't really walk any further forward. Unless he's hoping to try and catch HeroMarine napping, which doesn't look like he will try to. He falls back. A couple of medevacs being in production now. Means he is going to lose control of the Viking count. Right? Is he going to stabilize at 1 Viking? No. 2 Vikings for HeroMarine, 1 for Olivera. Upgrades. How are both sides looking? Both sides have 1-1. Olivera has his 2-2 on the way, which will give him a lead in a couple of minutes. However, now he's going to be relying on his superior tank count, which I think he can do quite effectively. Marines running around on both sides, just dying quite a bit. Vikings, however, will shoot down the medevacs. And that leaves an advantage to HeroMarine. And HeroMarine picks up both medevacs, gets scanned out as he tries to fly off with them. So he can't decide what he wants to do. Really needs to either send those away. Okay, he drops out the Marines. Gives him the edge in the Marines, but he's got a large deficit in tanks. He's gonna just bomb on top of these tanks. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Olivera managed to get them unsieged. Picks up a couple of tanks, moves back with them. Vikings will pick off all but one medevac. HeroMarine with the big aerial advantage at the moment, but he is a long way down in tanks, and Olivera is producing tanks 2 at a time. HeroMarine sticking to 1. And although HeroMarine does still have a Marine lead, that won't last forever. Probably going to want to maintain that advantage in Marine count. Might want to try to do something once 2-2 lands. We will have to see if HeroMarine catches these Marines. And Olivera's have a upgrade advantage, but it's too many there for that to really matter. Scouting Marine will spot this command center coming down. Does that show up on the minimap? Okay, it must have just been on the ground. Regardless, Marines and tanks making their way across. Okay, he's not going for a Doom Drop. As Olivera is currently marching his way in. No Ravens on either side. So it's going to be straight Marine tank ball versus Marine tank ball. And it's a little bit hard to tell. Olivera just has so many tanks. But attacking into a siege line is never easy. Although, whereas, oh no, HeroMarine, all of his Marines just on the wrong side of the world. Tries to drop on top of the tanks now, but I don't, yeah, he's just gonna get crushed. Lost 20 SCVs. That is game. Just those Marines nowhere near where they needed to be. That will be 2-0 to Olivera. We enter game 3 now. HeroMarine on the ropes, needing to claw this one back. On the other side, Olivera hoping to finish him off, move on. Supply depots, other side. More continuations of the exact same build by both players. As life continues onward, I guess. It's definitely not like these players have, you know, over years of experience, developed the most refined build that works in every situation. Look, I just want to see someone do something different. Can we see, like, CC first or something? God, can you imagine going CC first in pro play? Like, yeah, I don't think that would end very well. I think you would lose approximately 3 minutes in. Regardless, Olivera sending out a scout. HeroMarine declining to. Just gonna sit in his base, work up the lead. That's up. Fly depot. Scouting out for the Reaper. That's Olivera run in, C2 gases, and leave. Oh, he didn't. I must have seen the workers coming to and from the gas. Doesn't need to see the actual geysers. Slaps down his factory. HeroMarine also slaps down his factory. Reapers making their way across. And life continues with nothing unusual happening. As the Reapers will just run around and get a view of what's happening. HeroMarine, taking advantage of the fact he doesn't scout to get his command center down quite early here. Olivera will respond in kind, however, probably about 5 to 10 seconds behind. HeroMarine will head across to do his first scouting of the game with these two Reapers. As he'll head into the base now. Find absolutely nothing barring his way, and they will start blasting. Picks off one. Just the one SCV going down. Both Reapers managing to escape, just about. And the two Reapers making sure they stay out. They are not wanted in this swamp. You know what? Factory and Starport coming in. Marines making their way out. Widowmine performing the door guarding duty. Will not allow anything to come in there. Cyclone at the front. And not a lot happening. Olivera wanting to take down these. He's ripping up the flooring in front of his base. He doesn't like the way that it looks. It sort of clashes with the circle pattern of the expansion, and he just really doesn't like it there. He at this stage he'd much rather run the risk of getting walled in by bunkers. That is actually a thing that people used to do, and why those plates are there. I think every map has had them since about 2011 or so. I definitely feel like they've been a constant feature of this game for at least 10 years. Yeah, at the bottom of your main ramp. Maybe. I feel like even maps with natural chokes they would have been featured on. You know, somebody builds, 2 cannons or a bunker at the bottom of your ramp, and suddenly a Zerg's not allowed to leave his base anymore. Cyclone. Looking around. The command center finishing up for both sides. HeroMarine deciding to float his out before upgrading. Olivera choosing to do that first. As Reapers moving into the base as the small tank marine push working his way across the middle of the map. Widowmine obviously got spotted earlier. Reapers take down 4 SCVs. Nicely done there. Before getting cleaned up. Push coming in. HeroMarine gonna try and force it through the 2 siege tanks. He has the energy to disrupt both of them. Gonna have energy to disrupt all 3 here in a second. However, he's had enough. He got the Reaper damage done. That's all he wants. That's all he's worried about. He will fall back. He will get some more production online. Stim pack hasn't even finished yet. Combat shields hasn't even started yet. Gonna get his upgrades. 1-1 started up now as well. So The life of Terran continues. Impact. Finishing up. Marine pump. We'll start now in a second. Vikings. Fly depot. The side is declined. And Olivera shaping up for a double drop. Will he send 8 Marines into the main? Well, there are Vikings here waiting for him if he does. Missile turret waiting for him as well, in fact. So he's actually gonna bring his main force forward here. That will distract HeroMarine. Get some shelling done of the disruption goes down. One tank will get taken out. I believe a Viking got taken out as well. Meanwhile, Marines land in the main. They're burning that supply depot. Tank. Shelling them down. Missile turret. Ooh, manages to steal a medevac full of Marines before it goes down. Meanwhile, the 3 tanks here will get absolutely crushed as well. Marines gonna chase a little bit, and then the Reaper grenades will dissuade them from attacking further. However, Olivera, behind this, putting down his command center on location. HeroMarine building his as well, but he's building his at the 3rd. So we will have to see that continue. Cyclone and Hellion sneak past the... they're going to get spotted. They'll go down here. Unless, of course, Olivera loses track of object permanence and forgets the Cyclone exists. Dead. Couple of medevacs flying across for HeroMarine. Olivera doing some scouting out. He's looking for a 4th here. Will not find one. Medevacs. Supply depot. Spotting supply depot going down. Marine runs out here to check there's no Widow Mine, I assume, at the 4th base location. Does not find anything. Meanwhile, drop. Going down on the edge of sensor tower range. Is that? Does not see that somehow. With either the Reapers or the sensor tower. Meanwhile, Marines making another push up here. As HeroMarine sends out the troops to establish on location, and Medevac discovers why he's not the one meant to do the scouting. The Marines planed up in the middle of the map. Doesn't manage to ambush Olivera's Marines on their way back to base. As SCVs make their way down, Planetary Fortress being established. Cyclone, Vikings, Medevacs, Siege Tanks, Marines. Getting close to box art army levels of I'll hike one of everything, please. As a couple of Marines go down for the tank. Probably worth the trade. I think the one Reaper that went down, they're disposable at this point of the game. Marines are frankly much the same. They're very cheap to build, whereas siege tanks, you've only got single-digit numbers of them, and okay, you've only got single-digit numbers of them if your name's not HeroMarine right now. That is a lot of tanks. I guess the answer to Ravens trying to disrupt all of your tanks is to have more tanks than they can disrupt. Marine medevac ball running around the edge of the sensor tower here. We'll run into vision range there. Or not. Yeah, dancing around the edge of the vision there. Of the sensor tower. Meanwhile, the dance in the middle of the map continues. HeroMarine will establish himself here in the middle. He looks like he's willing to sacrifice this base, doesn't think he can defend it. However, Olivera will try and run into the tanks here in the middle. Trade's okay, gets a couple of tanks. Meanwhile, SCV's going down here. SCV's going down in the main. All the SCVs in the main are dead now. As HeroMarine starts attacking production facilities. Takes down a factory. Going for the orbital now. Meanwhile, base in the top has gone down. 19 SCVs dead for HeroMarine at the moment. A few more SCVs going down for Olivera. Losing all of his production in his main. Meanwhile, big attack coming up here from the right. HeroMarine forcing his way down. HeroMarine picks up all of the SCVs in the main. Drops down on the third now. Big attack into the attempt to establish a fifth by Olivera. As Olivera might just rush into the natural. Yeah, he just runs into the natural there. HeroMarine continues pushing down. This production is not going to establish at the fourth. Fourth itself will probably go down. As lots of SCVs, that is more Marines than HeroMarine is currently able to deal with in the main. Viking as well. 5 tanks are also going to be incredibly difficult to deal with. As he is still able to mine from his fourth or fifth. Not sure which one that is. Either way, he's still mining there. Command Center will come down and land here as Olivera continues dealing heavy damage to the production here in the main. Meanwhile, HeroMarine at the bottom of Olivera's ramp. He is now going to attack all of the production. As picks up all the Marines in the main. He's going to send them down, I think, to the fifth here. Try and take care of that. Meanwhile, all of Olivera's SCVs now are dead, pretty much. As HeroMarine pushes in, forces Olivera to attack his main army. Trop comes down to the fifth. That's going to get cleaned up. Siege tanks on the low ground here might be enough to help HeroMarine win this with the landed Vikings. Meanwhile, siege tanks continuing the push in the main. But there's nothing here. There's 3 Marines that can shoot up here. I think those are going to go down very quickly. Which leave all those tanks dead. The fifth base is now gone down. And where are Olivera's units? And he taps out. Well, that was a hectic base trade. HeroMarine manages to sneak one back. Got to keep this up. Heading out to game 4. Game 4 now of our best of 5. We're on Babylon, one of... Yeah, I'm not a fan of this map. I don't know why. There's just something not right about it. Regardless, Olivera, bottom right. HeroMarine, top left. Leave both these players playing for the tournament here. So, HeroMarine needs this one to stay alive. Olivera wanting to continue onwards. As let's have a look. Barracks, no one doing anything too fancy. 1 gas. Come on. 2 gas. Started, I think, to the second by both players. Again, no scouting happening in this game. As life continues ever onwards. Where are we going? Gas coming down. I wonder if they're going to build Reapers. Wow, they built Reapers. Who would have thought? Can you sneak up that cliff anyway? I suppose you kind of can just through here. The scouting supply depot does have a slight purpose. But where he's put that, I almost feel like that's going to get in the way of production later, but anyway. What am I to question these guys. Factories, both players? Yeah. Oh, HeroMarine has that 8 gas advantage, guys. I think this could be one-sided. As absolutely nothing has happened. Olivera. Okay, Olivera is actually about 10 seconds behind on his command center again. They didn't scout. I don't know how there's such a mineral lead. But anyway. Maybe he queued up an SCV or something. Right? More depots. Starport. Okay. HeroMarine's actually a little bit behind on the starport. Actually, what units are they going for? Hellion. So Olivera got one less Reaper. Both have a Widow Mine at the moment. They're both building a tech lab. Question is, are we going to see anything in it? Any way different? I have a sneaking suspicion the answer is no. Let's have a look. Immediately steals that tech lab. Whereas HeroMarines is going to have to construct its own one. So Olivera will have a bit of a lead on the Raven. Yes, which is kind of a big deal because they're an energy unit. Assuming that the push out actually happens in a time frame where that's relevant, such as maybe hitting before HeroMarine has a disruption available, or maybe you'll only have one rather than two. Only the single Raven for Olivera. Barracks will move on to that tech lab. Want to get his stim combat shields as quickly as possible, I assume. 2 more barracks going down. Making use of that reactor. As marine production continues. More barracks making their way down. 4th gas on its way. A notable divergence in build here. Probably. Command center, 3rd command centers. No 3rd command center yet for Olivera. And no 3rd gas. As a matter of fact, HeroMarine still only has 1 barracks. So I think we're gonna see a bit of a Ling Flood here. Sorry, Ling Flood? Yes, Terran Zerk is attacking. No, a bit of a Marine Flood here from Olivera. A quick look at the unit count. He's up a tank. He's up a bunch of Marines. He is down a Raven. Probably not that relevant. Down a Reaper, definitely not relevant. Very similar SCV counts for the moment. So Olivera wanting to be the one to put down some pressure here. Couple of medevacs heading in production. And he is just going to load up and go on a journey. This will get spotted very early on here by HeroMarine though. So Olivera decides to drop out. And we will now push out with the rest of his army. Finds a Hellion in the middle of the map. That's not ideal for HeroMarine. Really rather have that for defense. There's bunker going down here. Wanting to try and protect this area as much as possible so that he can't just be completely split off from his base. Meanwhile, push continues from the right. Drop moving out to the left. tanks and Vikings making the way over to deal with this push. He will have the aerial advantage if I'm not mistaken. Here, that is a lot of Vikings. I don't think Olivera has any right now. However, all these Marines in the main doesn't quite manage to get a Raven. Will he manage to takes down the turrets, takes down a Raven. Dealing with all of the SCVs in the main. That's 16 SCVs gone down. He's forced the army back. Meanwhile, the attack coming into the third might get pushed back. Nope. Those tanks are way too strong. That is a lot of SCVs. That is 30 SCVs gone down. Third base will get forced to lift off. Not sure if it'll get picked off or not. But Prob in the main has finally been cleared up, but he has lost so many workers to it. He's going to drop in the main. Not sure if that's a good... yeah, he decides better at that and will leave. There's one Viking, one Raven left. I believe only one siege tank for HeroMarine. Desperately trying to hang on here. Whoa. Almost managed to get the Raven with that Widow Mine. Manages to pull back. Tanks sieging up at the bottom of the ramp. Gonna push forward now. HeroMarine accidentally picked up a bunch of Marines. Vikings clean up the last medevac, but that is not enough as he has lost basically all of his workers. And that is series 3-2 to Olivera. He moves on in this World Championships. Thank you all for watching. If you've managed to make it to the end of this, congratulations, and by all means, please push that like, subscribe, all those buttons. Hit the bell if you're one of those people who likes the notifications. I know that I personally just much prefer scrolling through my subscription feed. But regardless, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.